Hey viewers, a lot of you have already joined the mailing list, but it's come to my attention that my emails are going to spam. So please check your spam for Planet Peterson to see those. If you're not on the mailing list, there's a link to a Google form in the pinned comment below. And if you're on the mailing list, I also pinned a merchandise survey that you can take as well. So please check those things out.
All things that exist are either contingent or they are necessary. If something is contingent, it can be any other way. I mean, it can be in a particular way and it can be in a different way, right?
The God you believe in, can it do anything?
It can do anything.
So it's possible that the God could have done other things other than the things that it did?
It is possible that God decides to do anything.
Then it's contingent. Thank you. Come again.
That's the dumbest thing I have heard. Listen, did you hear
Oh
yourself?
my God! What is
Did you hear
it that
yourself?
something is contingent? It means it could have been some other way. Your
But
God
you said
can literally
what
do
God
anything,
does.
so it could have done things in a different
something,
way.
That means
something
it's contingent. Listen. Something that is in a way and something that is doing something is different. Are you okay, man? Seriously, is this your argument?
No,
This
it's
is really
your
the slowest.
argument.
This is the. It's okay. Let's move on. I will assume that you accept correspondentism, which means what corresponds to reality is what truth is, right?
I would suppose, yeah.
Excellent. So, how do you now? I'm going to ask you about your methodology. How do you know what corresponds to reality?
Well, we investigate that. So again, it's either the methodology or the facts themselves.
The methodology. No, the methodology. You can't have access to the fact. The fact is a proposition. I'm asking you, what is the methodology you're going, to prove that something corresponds to reality?
Sure. I guess it would be through some sort of empirical investigation.
Empirical investigation. Excellent. So it is pretty much the scientific method, or no? Is it the scientific method the best tool that you have?
For figuring out true facts, I guess, but not everything is scientific. I mean, I am holding a cup in my hand. I wouldn't call that a scientific investigation because I offered no prediction, and I haven't described anything about the way the natural world works. I'm just saying that there's a cup in my hand.
Yeah, no.
I wouldn't say that any observed fact is necessarily scientific.
Okay, no problem. Then that it is not the scientific method. So here you are appealing to some type of subjective perspective, right? Because when you say something is empirical, something can be verified empirically, and that means that it is something that can be experimented. Something people can observe not only, but by induction they can make general assumptions through it, right? And if that is your standard for truth, then you don't know if you have a great grandfather because you cannot empirically check that. Can you?
Yes, I can.
Go ahead, do it. Empirically prove me that you have a great grandfather.
How do we tell that? How do we tell that somebody? How do we do a paternity test?
That is paternity, your own father. I'm talking about your great to the 10th generation, your great grandfather to the 10th generation. Empirically,
So the way we could prove. Yeah, so the way we could prove that would be exactly the same way we do paternity tests.
But they don't exist anymore, so you can't do paternity tests for them anymore. So that means you cannot empirically prove that they existed.
My great grandfather doesn't exist.
To the 10th generation, you cannot prove empirically that they existed. Meaning you cannot have.
Sure, you can. Their body. We may be able to find their body. There may be documentation about them. The evidence can theoretically disappear or be destroyed or not be found, but in principle, it can be done.
Now you're saying in principle it is possible to do it. I'm saying your standard for truth is empiricism. Your methodology is empiricism. And I'm asking you to prove that you have a great grandfather to the 10th generation empirically. You cannot do it because you cannot empirically verify what your claim is. What you're doing
Gojo, is there an amusement park on the far side of the moon?
I don't know. But most likely no.
Most likely not. You can't empirically prove that.
I can prove it. I could go there and prove it.
No, you can't. Do it right now.
I could go there and prove it.
Oh, in principle you could?
But no. Okay, okay, no problem.
Exactly.
So wait,
Now you
one
understand
second.
how it works.
No, no, no. I haven't said that my standard for truth is empiricism. That is
Thank
you.
you. Come
You are
again.
yeah,
Is there
yeah.
an amusement park on the opposite side of the moon?
Yeah, so from my own standard, I'm not saying that it is empiricism that is my methodology for truth. I didn't say that. That's your own position. It is a straw man if you're asking me the question thinking it's a gotcha moment. It is all it does is that
So,
it
no,
exposes.
what it did was it demonstrated a total inconsistency
No,
in the
I
way you were
didn't
trying
say
to
my standard.
criticize my position.
Ask
You're
me my
telling
standard
me
for
I
truth.
can't claim something is true because I can't do it in the real world. The
You
ability to
made
do
the
it in
claim.
principle doesn't count.
You made
And
the
then when I
claim.
asked you for an example of something you could do in principle, that does count for you.
No, no, no. You made the claim. I didn't make the claim that it is my standard. Ask me my standard, and I'm going to teach you.
Okay, what's your standard for truth?
Excellent. It is correspondentism. What corresponds to reality is what is true. And my methodology for it is, listen, let me finish. You're asking a standard, I'm going to tell you. About things that transcend our own existence, we couldn't be able to know it unless there is something that transcends our own existence that tells us that
Prove
would
it.
account for it.
Prove
Let
it.
me finish. You'll understand. Prove what?
Prove that there needs to be something that transcends our experience and our understanding.
Oh, okay, excellent. I said about things that transcend my own existence. Go read Kant. About things that transcend my own existence, I wouldn't be able to know it because by definition it transcends my own existence. I wouldn't be able to reach there by understanding.
Then you can't justify it.
And I can justify it. Come on, man.
No, you can't because it's
it?
beyond your ability to comprehend.
No, that's not the point. The point is not whether it is beyond my, my
Sounds like the
ability
point to me.
to comprehend. No, that's your straw man position. Now listen. I didn't say it's something about comprehension. I said it is something about my ability to reach there, right? About things that transcend my own existence. I wouldn't be able to know it unless there is something that transcends my own existence that communicated that to me. As simple as that. You were talking earlier about the Big Bang. Let me ask you a very simple question.
Can you comprehend this thing?
Yes, definitely. If
This
something communicates,
this thing that transcends all whatever, can you comprehend it?
something that transcends my existence could communicate to me in a way that I would be comprehending. Yes, 100%.
Can you comprehend it? You're saying yes, you can?
Yes.
Okay, explain how it is comprehended.
Okay, excellent. Communication is moving information from an agent A to an agent B. If an agent A transcends my own existence and he communicates with me, he can communicate it in a language, meaning in a codified way of
Prove it.
Can I finish what I'm saying before you say prove it? Okay, 1 second, right? 1 second. Do you understand what an internal critic is and what an external critic is?
A what?
An internal critic, do you know what it means? And do you know what an external critic is?
Not really.
Okay, good. If you're making an internal critic of my own position, you have first to say, I grant you the premises, prove the conclusion. That's what you're going to say. And then, or you say, I grant you the premises, and you try to show that there is an internal incoherence with what I'm saying. If you're asking me to prove that there is a being that transcends my own existence, I can do it. Of course I can do it. If you're asking me to
do
say,
it right now then. I don't want to
Excellent.
talk about anything else. Do that.
Perfect. Let's do it like this, step by step. All things that exist are either contingent or they are necessary.
No idea if that's true.
I'm making the claim. This is my premise. My first premise is all things that exist are either contingent or necessary. Otherwise, they are impossible. Meaning their existence would lead to a logical contradiction.
Prove it.
This is the first premise.
Prove it.
It's a premise.
I don't know if I should believe your argument based on your premises. Prove that your premise is true.
No problem. After I say, you will
An
say
argument isn't evidence.
No problem. Okay, no problem. Still, I will prove it to you. No problem. If you're saying an argument is not evidence, you're admitting that an argument can be sound if the premises are true, the conclusion is true, but still you are deciding to reject.
Premise is true.
Excellent. So contingent means something that could be any other way, and the opposite of it is something that couldn't be any other way. So this is a true dichotomy.
I'm aware of that. Prove.
It doesn't seem the case. Let me finish.
No,
it is a true dichotomy. Yeah, let me finish. I'm proving it. Listen. True dichotomy. Something is either or it is the opposite of this. This is the law of the excluded middle, literally. if you know what I'm saying, you know what. Do you know the law of excluded middle? Do you know the law of non-contradiction?
Something can't be both A and not A at the same, or if something is A, it can't also be B or whatever.
No. Come on, man. The law of non-contradiction is A and not A cannot be true at the same time.
When you said
That's the law.
excluded middle, now it's
Then
non-contradiction?
excluded middle is something is either A or not A, not anything in between.
Yes.
Yeah. So here it is a true dichotomy. Something that could be any other way, or something that could not be any other way. It's a true dichotomy.
Yep.
So everything that exists is either one or the opposite. Simple, right?
Sure.
I mean, you were saying prove it. I proved it. The second thing is we see that there is something that exists. The universe exists. It is made of parts. These parts can be changed and organized in a certain way. It makes it that it is in a certain way and not in another one that makes the universe contingent.
Says who?
It's a demonstration. Listen, the universe exists. You have a problem with that?
I don't have a problem that it exists.
Okay, good. The universe
Why is it
exists.
contingent?
I explained that. Now I will explain it again. The universe exists. Something that is contingent is something that could be any other way. The universe
Prove that the
exists.
universe could be any other way.
Yes, the universe could be. You have a possible world where the Earth is spinning in the opposite direction. That is a
Prove it.
possible world. I just
Prove
proved
it.
it. It's realization. I just proved it. It's
No, you
realization.
didn't. You just asserted it. Prove it.
Okay, its realization doesn't entail a logical contradiction. Therefore, it is a possible world that exists. The universe is in a particular way and not in another one. In this universe, the constant of gravity around
You haven't
certain
proven
areas
that.
is
You haven't
9.8.
proved that the Earth could spin the other way.
Okay, no problem. I will leave the Earth spinning or nothing. I'll just give you any other example. Gravity here
Give
on
me
Earth.
proof. Prove it.
Can you listen? You will understand. I think if you listen, you will understand. The Earth, for example, right? You have a possible world where I'm walking in the opposite direction instead of walking in this direction. That's a possible
Prove that
world.
that's possible.
It is possible because its realization doesn't entail a contradiction.
So whatever you can come up with in your imagination doesn't tell me what is and isn't possible.
Yeah, I can give you an example of something that's not possible. A square circle is not possible.
Just because something's possible doesn't mean that it could therefore, or that there must be a case in which it would happen.
I said a possible world. See, listen, mark my word. I said there is a possible world where I could be working in the opposite direction. That means there is a possible universe that is different from this universe.
So just whatever.
Yes, there is. Can you prove it wrong? Go ahead.
So, well, no, you're the one making the claim.
I made the claim and I proved it. I said it doesn't entail a logical
You used the
contradiction.
power of your imagination, but just because we can imagine something.
Does it?
What?
Go ahead. Prove that there is no me.
No,
working
you're the
in
one that
different
made the
direction.
claim.
No, yeah, the claim is this, that there is a possible world where I'm walking in the opposite direction, and it is a possible world because its realization doesn't entail a logical contradiction.
So if we can imagine something, then it's possible.
No, if you can imagine you cannot. Yeah, I mean, you can imagine a square circle. You can imagine whatever you want. It doesn't make it possible. So things you can imagine things. Things are
All you did
impossible,
was
and things are
imagine
possible.
something.
I didn't imagine. I gave you an example of a possible world.
Yeah, using the power of your imagination.
No,
You described something that isn't the case in this universe and said,
Okay.
therefore, it's possible. Maybe it's not possible. Maybe you can just
is.
imagine it.
No, so now you're saying, oh, maybe it's this, maybe a married bachelor is impossible. A square circle is impossible. These are things that you can imagine, but they're impossible.
Yeah, just because you can imagine something happening doesn't necessarily mean it's possible.
That's not the point. The
Unless
point
we
is
have
it
an
is
infinite number of universes, I guess.
no. The point is
What do you mean, no?
the point is that it is possible because its realization doesn't entail a logical contradiction.
Right.
That's the
If
point.
you can imagine something, then it's possible. I can't imagine a square circle. Neither can you.
You can't conceptualize it. That means you can imagine it. Come on.
Yep,
You can conceptualize
exactly.
it.
That's what
You-
I
you
just
can-
said.
you-
So if we can
exactly.
imagine something, that means it's possible.
No.
I can
not
imagine
true.
that all of your arguments are wrong, therefore it's possible.
there is, yes, there is a possible world where all my arguments are wrong. There is a possible world
Okay,
where
cool.
that is the case.
Then that necessarily guarantees that
Perfect.
you are
That's
wrong, because if we can imagine it, then it must be possible and it must be true. Or there is a strand of existence where you are wrong, and I'll just claim that we live in that strand of existence.
No. You conceded. I like that. Perfect. I accept your claim. You just said, yes, I accept your claim. Your claim is that there is actually a possible world where my arguments are wrong. That means there is a possible universe that is different from this one that makes the universe contingent. Thank you very much. You have proved my point. Now, can we move on?
Sure.
Excellent. Thank you for accepting, and thank you for proving my point. Now, the thing is this: if this universe, we accept this universe is contingent, there is a different world where the possible world that is different from our own. The universe is therefore contingent. That is something unknown. That's my second premise. So the first premise: everything is either contingent or necessary, and the second premise is the universe exists and everything within it is within the universe. Everything that we can observe is within the universe, and the universe is contingent. That's my second premise.
Yep.
Okay, good. My third premise is this. It is that something that is contingent, it requires for its existence something outside of ourselves. Something that is contingent requires as an explanation for its existence, something that is outside of itself. That's my third premise. Good. If something is contingent, it can be any other way. I mean, it can be in a particular way, and it can be in a different way, right? And that thing that being contingent is something that you would have to explain that this thing would require for itself, for its existence something else, or it would require for its existence itself. If you're saying the thing or something else that is contingent, and if you're saying it is, having as an explanation for its existence, is having itself as an explanation for its existence, then you will have to account for the fact that it is in a particular way and not in another one. Then you will have to explain that this thing is existing in a particular modality in another, rather than another one, which means that this thing is abiding by a different law that is outside of itself. That makes it definitely a wrong possibility. The second thing is, if you're saying is this thing
this is the third premise. This run-on sentence is your third premise.
You are asking me to prove it. I am proving you the third premise.
You don't need to prove it. You can get to the conclusion, because your conclusion is going to be utterly annihilated by your own logic.
Did you understand? Did you understand the third premise? Still man me.
Pretend that I did.
Still man me. You can't. I'm gonna do it.
Just do your own argument. Yeah. Assume that you're right about everything and I'm wrong about everything, and just give your argument.
Good, thank you. So the first premise, I'm gonna repeat and I'm gonna give the conclusion. First premise: everything that exists is either contingent or necessary. The universe exists and it is contingent. And anything that is contingent requires for its explanation something outside of itself. The fourth premise is for the universe to exist, for everything to exist, there has to be, if you take the set of all contingent existences, that set in itself is contingent. That's the fourth premise. The set of all contingent existences is also contingent. That means that according to the third premise, that set in itself requires for its existence something outside of itself. The conclusion is there is something outside of the set of all things that are contingent that explains the existence of all the things that are contingent. And therefore, because of the first premise, something is either contingent or necessary. The thing that is outside of itself, or outside of the set of all contingent things explaining it, is by definition something that is necessary. Therefore, there is a necessary existence that explains the existence of all things that exist outside of the necessary thing. That's my first. That's the first conclusion.
Great. So you're claiming that this thing is God.
I didn't say that yet.
Is it though? Because I'd like to just get to the end here, where your own logic is going to disprove the God you believe in.
Yeah, no, I didn't say that. This is not, I have proved to you that there is
Gojo,
a necessary
you've been
existence.
speaking for 97 million
Can you disprove me? Can you disprove me?
I can disprove this God that you believe in using your own argument.
What is my conclusion? Go ahead. What is my conclusion?
Do you believe that a necessary God that is not contingent created this universe based on your argument there?
My arguments, I went first and I proved that there is a necessary existence. That's the first thing I did. Now I'm going to prove that.
Do you think that it's God?
Yes, and I'm going to prove this to you.
Yeah,
but you have first to accept it.
Just
if you
shut
accept
up for
this,
2 seconds. The God that you believe in Can your God do anything?
Yes.
So it's possible that your God could have done other things?
Are you granting what I said?
Yeah, everything you said is fine. Here are the questions.
Okay, then,
It's
perfect.
your turn
Let
to
me
just
finish the
answer
argument.
questions, okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
The God you believe in, can it do anything?
It can do anything.
So it's possible that the God could have done other things other than the things that it did?
It is possible that God decides to do anything
Then it's
else.
contingent. Thank you. Come again.
That's the dumbest thing I have heard. Listen, did you hear
Oh
yourself?
my God! What is
Did you hear
it that
yourself?
something is contingent? It means it could have been some other way. Your
But
God
you
can
said
literally
what
do
God
anything,
does.
so it could have done
No,
things
no,
in a different
something.
way.
No,
That means
something
it's
that.
contingent.
Listen. No. Something that is in a way and something that is doing something is different. Are you okay, man? Seriously, is this your argument?
No,
This
it's
is really
your
the slowest.
argument.
This is the slowest thing I have ever heard.
Gojo, this is your argument.
I swear, this is the slowest counterpoint I have ever heard from an atheist. Are you atheist?
That's
Seriously,
great.
are you an atheist?
Could your God have been some other way?
No.
But your God can do anything.
Yes, God can do
That
anything.
means it could have done other things other than the things your God did. That makes it contingent according to your own argument.
No.
What do you mean, no?
No, the thing is this. I will define
God, you're
contingency.
dumb.
Yeah, I will define. No, you are actually dumb because you didn't even get the argument. And that's the point. The point is you cannot still mind my position. You cannot even still mind the
Something that is
I gave.
contingent could have been some other way. The God you believe in is infinite and can do anything. Meaning the things it did could have been other things. Otherwise, the God you believe in doesn't even have free will.
No. That's
it's
not
contingent.
God is an agent. Do you know what? Listen, right? Do you know what a category error is? A category error. Do you know it?
Do you know what it means to move the goalpost?
I haven't moved. I am still camping here. I am sitting here and I'm telling you again. I'm going to repeat it. What my claim is that I have proved to you there is a necessary being. That's the first thing I've done. And I'm going to go through it easily. And the definition of something that is necessary, that is contingent.
I'm going to mute you again because there's actually another point here.
It's not that I'm repeating the thing. Why you
because you've just steamrolled this whole thing. I have an important question.
Is it a conversation? Are we having a conversation?
You either will answer this very simple question or I'm done, okay?
Okay,
Can something that is
listening.
contingent also create something or be responsible for another contingent thing?
Something that is contingent cannot be an explanation for the existence of something else.
So my parents gave birth to me. Are we both contingent?
Yeah, are both contingent.
Great. So you just debunked the thing that you just claimed.
I clearly
There's
said
no
something.
reason to state that the universe wasn't created by something that isn't also contingent.
No. 1 second. I just said something that is contingent cannot be the explanation for the existence of something else that is contingent. This is what I said.
Are my parents the explanation for why I exist? Are we both contingent? Yes. So the universe does not have to be created from something that was not contingent.
I said no. You're strawmanning.
No, you didn't say no. You said yes.
I said no. Why you said? I said no. I said no. I repeat again. No, your parents are not an explanation for your existence. Your parents are actually just in a
you're just playing dumb word games, and I don't care.
You are the one playing dumb. You are the one playing dumb.
The God you believe in is contingent according to your own definition of what contingency is.
You want to run.
But then you just said, no, it's an agent, which means you're just playing the game I win.
It's
like
okay,
in
you can
Big Daddy.
run.
It's idiotic, and I don't care anymore.